Good evening. Today is Friday, April 28, 2023. I'm Elmer Navarro Manuel and this is Tribune News on Q. Here are the headlines for this evening. President Marcos to assert importance of ASEAN centrality. Bantag and Zulueta now on whole departure list. Philippines tells China to respect its rights. DOH reports 858 new COVID-19 cases. Easterlies and localized thunderstorms to bring isolated rains. President Marcos to take up economic agenda in Washington. Stocks and peso end week up on risk-on sentiments. For tonight's stories, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will assert the significance of the ASEAN centrality amid the geopolitical issues in the region, according to an official of the Department of Foreign Affairs. Marcos is scheduled to participate in the 42nd ASEAN Summit, which will be held in Indonesia next month. ASEAN Affairs Assistant Secretary Angelito Nayan said that the President is expected to assert the importance of demonstrating ASEAN centrality in the region amidst geopolitical rivalries and advancing the Philippines' priorities in ASEAN through regional and multilateral cooperation. Former Bureau of Corrections Chief Gerald Bantag and former Bucor Deputy Officer Ricardo Zulueta are now on the whole departure list of the Bureau of Immigration. This comes after a Muntinlupa City Court issued a whole departure order upon the request of state prosecutors to prevent them from leaving the country during the pendency of the case involving the murder of June Villamor, the alleged middleman in the killing of broadcaster Percy Lapid. Separate warrants of arrest were earlier issued by the Muntinlupa Regional Trial Court Branch 206 and the Las Piñas Regional Trial Court Branch 254 for Bantag and Zulueta in connection with the killings of Villamor and Lapid, respectively. The Philippines on Friday called on China anew to respect the legal rights of the country to conduct maritime patrols after a Chinese Coast Guard ship cut a Philippine patrol vessel off the Spratly Islands in the West Philippine Sea. The Department of Foreign Affairs said after the near collision between the much bigger Chinese vessel and the Philippine boat. DFA spokesperson Tess Daza said that on April 23, in the waters around Ayungin Shoal, China Coast Guard vessel number 5201 came within 50 yards of the BRP Malapascua, blocking the latter's path and exposing the Philippines vessel's crew to danger. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Ng mundo for all your pera transactions, all new Bayad.
Nasa kamay mo ang swerte, ngunit hindi ito isang laro na para lang sa iyo. Dahil bukod sa pag-asang maging milyonaryo, ang pagtangkilik mo sa loto at ipapang produkto ng PCSO ay nakakalikom ng pondo para sa mga programang pangkalusugan, tulong at serbisyong medikal at kawang-gawa.
Lahat ng minimithi makakamtan sa PCSO.
In other news, the Department of Health on Friday recorded 858 new COVID-19 cases as the active tally climbed to 5,293. Based on the latest data, new infections brought the nationwide COVID-19 tally to 4,091,854, while the active tally rose to 5,293 from 4,960 on Thursday. The DOH said the nationwide recovery tally increased to 4,020,117, while the death toll stood at 66,444 with no new fatalities reported. State Weather Bureau Pagasa announced that isolated rains may persist across the country on Friday due to the easterlies and the localized thunderstorms. Partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms will be experienced in Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Forecast winds in the country will be light to moderate and will be accompanied by slight to moderate coastal water conditions. In business, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. will also pursue the Philippines' economic agenda aside from discussing defense and security when he goes to Washington for an official visit, according to Foreign Affairs spokesperson Tess Daza. Daza said Marcos would also take up his plans for agriculture and food security in terms of infrastructure development, in terms of renewable energy and clean energy. Daza reiterated that Marcos would have a bilateral talk with U.S. President Joe Biden on May 1 and an expanded meeting with other American officials. She mentioned that the chief executive will also meet with various firms to woo possible investors. And risk-on sentiments lifted both the local bourse's main index and peso on Friday, with economists noting that the earnings report by some United States-listed firms and the recent drop in oil prices countered the lower-than-expected economic growth print in the U.S. The Philippine Stock Exchange Index gained by 0.63% or 41.40 points to 6,625.08 at the closing bell. The broader all shares followed with a jump of 0.67% or 23.67 points to 3,532.53. Volume reached 899.96 million shares, amounting to 8.34 billion pesos. Advancers surpassed decliners at 102 to 100, while 43 shares were unchanged. Meanwhile, the local currency ended the day better against the US dollar at 55.38 from 52.72 a day ago. That wraps up the stories tonight. Catch us again on Monday, only here at Daily Tribune's Facebook page. Again, this is Elmer Navarro Manuel, and you're watching Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good night, and God bless us all.
Catch the latest news on our website, tribune.net.ph. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. Download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS and Google Play for Android to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune invites you to join its Viber community, Katribu, to get updates on the hottest news on politics, business, sports, lifestyle, and entertainment. Emoticons of the Tribune mascot Tarsito are available on our community Viber.
Do you remember when we were so kids? Do you remember when we were so kids? We had fun all the time. 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 Do you remember when we were so kids? Do you remember when we were so kids? Do you remember when we were so kids? We had fun all the time. 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 Mom and Dad bring us to the park every Sunday. Brother, sister, and I together we play. Then we eat at that old cafe. At the end of the day, watch the sunset at the bay. Let's go! Do you remember when we was the kids? Do you remember when we was the kids? Do you remember when we was the kids? We had fun all the time. 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 We just wanna do everything, telling jokes and endless laughings. Sometimes we go daydreaming, listen to the music